y'all, and welcome to Benevolence, where kindness matters and all are welcome to the table. I'm your host, Sassy Diaz, and first and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, liking, subscribing, rating, and following me on this benevolence journey. So keep tuning in because I know that you are going to leave blessed, empowered, and encouraged to be the best version of yourself. You are tuning into episode 8, All the Feels, Part 2. And on this episode of Benevolence, I will be hosting solo to reflect on some things from this current year and to also talk about my own personal goals for this upcoming year of 2019. In season 1, All the Feels Part 1, I was pretty much just answering different types of questionnaires and things like that that my listeners have sent to me or wanted to know a little bit about. And since we're getting to the end of 2018, I wanted to just reflect on some things and talk to you about the great things that have happened this year and also, the things that I'm looking forward to for 2019. So we are soon approaching the end of 2018, and honestly, whenever we come to the end of the year, I find it to be bittersweet. I don't know about you, but I'm always looking forward to the new year. It gives me like a feeling of like a clean slate, a fresh start. Now, don't get me wrong. One major downfall of an upcoming new year could be the fear of not knowing what to expect. And that's kind of like one of my major struggles. I deal with like not knowing what's coming. And obviously we don't know what's coming, but like it's a big deal to me. So not knowing the highs and the lows that will come your way, but it's important to stay positive. And that's what I try to do every single time I get into like a negative thought. Positivity is key when entering a new year, especially, and it definitely sets you up for success. But before I get into some personal resolutions for 2019, I'd like to reflect on 2018 overall. Now, what I've done is I've kind of researched or kind of looked up some sentence starters, and then I kind of just finished off the sentence using things about my life. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look back at 2018. So the first sentence starter is my biggest accomplishment. And honestly, my biggest accomplishment this year was passing the GKT. So you're probably wondering, what the heck is the GKT? But the GKT is called the General Knowledge Test that all education majors need to take. So if you didn't know this about me, I am a high school teacher and I teach 10th grade. And right now I currently have my temporary professional certificate and we need to get our permanent. So all teachers, and this happens to everyone, doesn't matter what you do, if you're an upcoming teacher or you're striving to be a teacher in the state of Florida, you have to take a general knowledge test. And that pretty much includes everything from math, reading, writing, and I can let you know that it's really hard. Especially it's hard for someone who isn't really good at math. So this year was probably one of the toughest years in regard to passing this test. I took it, I think it was like 4 times, and I had failed the first 3 times. And keep in mind, it's $150 every time. So that's a lot of money. And the first time I didn't study. I just kind of winged it to see more or less how I would do. I didn't pass. The second time I really put in effort. I think I put in effort, but I didn't put a lot of effort in. And honestly, I failed. And that was devastating for me because I had a deadline. I had to, by June 30th of 2018, I needed to have passed that test in order to get rehired in the school that I'm currently in. So it was definitely a lot of pressure. And then finally, the third time, I really did study. And Anthony actually helped me because he's really good with numbers. So he tutored me for a while. It was like months. And then finally, I took it and I passed it. So I passed the math portion. But actually, it's not 4 times. It's actually 5 times. It was like my 5th time. And then there was one small little section that I didn't pass. And it was like terrible. So I remember it was my last time. I'm like, oh my God, it was like, I think I took it in May. And I was like shaking in my boots. And then finally I went to this testing center. And if you were listening to last episode with Natalie, she was talking about how she had passed her real estate exam. So it's the same setting. It's the same setup. It's actually the same place where you take your real estate exam. And I took it, and let me tell you, man, I was like nervous. And then I walked out, and then what do you know? I look at the paper and it finally said passed. So I had passed every single section in the GKT, and it was just, I cried and I couldn't believe it. And I gave like that fist pump in the air from the Breakfast Club at the end of the movie. If you've ever seen the movie, at the end, the guy does like this whole fist pump in the air, and that's exactly what I did. I was just so excited. So that was definitely one of my biggest accomplishments for 2018. My next sentence starter is my nicest memory. And I have quite a few nice memories. So first one was going to Miami with friends. That was fun in the summer. Visiting my grandma in Philly. That was also in June. Watching my daughter dance to New York, New York. And this past, I think it was October, she did like a little recital with her school. And she was dressed up as like one of those Rockettes, and she had a tutu and everything. And if you follow me on Facebook, you could probably see it there. And she danced, and she was just so amazing. It was just definitely a proud moment for me as a parent. And that was just great seeing her do that. And then two other things was seeing one of my best friends become a mom. So if you didn't know, if you listened to, I don't know what episode it is, but last season we talked about, I had one of my best friends, Pamela, come down, join me at the table, and she discussed her experiences with her miscarriage. And at the very end, she did announce that she was pregnant. So she did give birth. So if she is listening, Javier, Pam, we're so happy for you guys. And she has a beautiful baby girl. Her name is Mia, and she was born on November. I don't know why I said December, because we're in December. November 25th. So it was just such an awesome moment seeing one of my best friends become a mom. So God definitely has moved in their lives, and she's just so beautiful and so precious. So make sure to check her out and wish her all the best. It's hard being a new mom and a new dad, but trust me, it gets better from there. And then the final thing, I think one of my nicest memories also was seeing my other best friend, which was Tiffany Gonzalez, graduate with her master's. Because she was also in my episode 2 of season 1, and we talked about suicide and we talked about mental health, and she was actually working towards her master's on family and marriage counseling, and she actually received her master's degree, I think about 2 weeks ago. So if she's listening, Tiff, good job, girl. We love you and we're so proud of you. So congrats on that as well. So there's been a lot of nice memories this year. That's why I had to mention all of them, because I feel like they're the top things that has occurred or that happened in 2018. Now, my next sentence starter is my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge, honestly, was benevolence. And I'm not talking about the actual job itself of recording in my office and, inviting people and having that's not the challenge. The challenge is the comparison. Right now, I think towards the summer, now towards the end, podcast is a thing now. A lot of people didn't know what podcasts, what it was. And now it's actually rising in the charts, and people are actually tuning into, different types of podcasts. And there's any type of podcasts out there. There's podcasts for any type of person that you are. They have it out there. And, although we shouldn't be creating a community of comparison, we need to be a community that supports each other. It gets kind of hard, especially when you see other people doing kind of something similar to what you're doing, and then they're getting more ratings, and they're getting more likes and subscribers and followers. It can definitely be a challenge, and that's something that is currently my biggest challenge. Not Benevolence podcast in itself, because I love what I do, but it's the emotional part of it, seeing other people and comparing and trying to stop yourself from doing that. So I think that's one of my biggest challenges. So moving on. The next sentence starter is my biggest time waster this year. And honestly, my biggest time waster this year was spending too much time on social media. Social media can make you or break you. And honestly, it breaks more people than ever. And it's a shame. Something that, it's about networking and getting to know other people has turned into like definitely a competition, and it can definitely make you or break your day. Like there's moments where I go on social media and then after that I feel like crap. It's definitely something that can take you from 0 to 100 or 100 to 0 real quick. So I think my biggest time waster this year was spending too much time on social media. So next year, 2019, I definitely have some priorities coming along when it comes to social media. So, but I'll leave it at that because that's something I'm going to talk about later. The next sentence starter is, in what area did I grow this past year? Now, honestly, I believe that I'm more of a risk taker this time. Benevolence was always in the back of my mind. And I've always felt intimidated by what's already out there and how people are going to react or think. And that's one major aspect of my life in which I want to grow more and I want to work on myself, because I'm always worrying about what other people think. But I believe that taking that big step in doing benevolence, period, was definitely an area that I did grow, because I forgot, I just didn't care. I took a risk. I was definitely out of my comfort zone, and I grew from that. So just launching benevolence in itself was definitely an area that I found growth in my life this year. And then the final sentence starter is I learned, and the sentence starter says, I learned that. And I learned that in order to see progress in our lives, we have to learn to get out of our comfort zone. And that's something that I'm working on. You want to progress in life, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You definitely have to do that. So that's pretty much it for the sentence starters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little, if you ever look at Instagram stories and they have these sentence starters and you kind of put emojis in, or you put GIFs or anything like that, I'm going to kind of do something similar for benevolence, so that you guys can copy and I can see what your sentence starters are on looking back in the year of 2018. So moving on to talk about some small victories, successes, or highlights for 2018. I passed the GKT. That was a big thing. Launched Benevolence podcast on July 16, which was also my birthday. So that was definitely a huge victory of mine. My third small victory is that I tried guac for the first time, and I loved it. So honestly, you're probably thinking I'm crazy. Really? You have never tried guacamole? No, I've never tried guacamole. And that's a small victory of mine. I tried guac for the first time, and actually it was a really good guac, and I loved it. So I don't love it that I have it every day, things like that, but it's definitely something that I can eat. It doesn't matter. So thank you, Beverly. If you're listening out there, thank you, girl, for introducing me to guac. And I don't know, I think it's really cool. I see guac on toast and stuff like that. And I know I have other friends that eat that. So, but I've never tried that. I would like to try it. So let's see if 2019 brings that on. Another small victory was that, like I said before, Victoria had her first official dance number and she did amazing. Also that Pamela and Javier had their first baby on November 25th. Her name is Mia. Tiffany graduated with her master's degree. And then finally, one major success that has definitely been, and it's not even a victory of mine personally, but I'm part of it. So a huge victory is that my husband, Anthony, finished his last fall semester of college. So he passed all 3 of his classes, and now he has 3 more classes to go in the spring, and then he graduates in May with his bachelor's degree in accounting. And I'll be honest to say, I'm so proud of him. It's been a long journey, tears, anxiety, stress, and especially this semester was one of the toughest semesters I've ever had to deal with, just because like my daughter's, she's bigger now, so it's kind of like the demand is there, and as a parent can definitely take a toll on your life and stuff like that. So I remember just the last weekend when he was taking finals, I was like definitely feeling anxiety, and then trying to like give her the time that she needs and stuff like that, like, and have her not distract her dad while he was doing his finals was definitely a challenge. So I'm so proud of Anthony, and we just have one more semester to go, and then he has a bachelor's degree, so I'm really proud of him. So that's definitely a huge victory, and a highlight for the year 2018. So I want to move on to gratitude, and some things that, we have to live our life with gratitude. A lot of us, we feel some type of way. We feel like, we want so much, and it's okay to want things, but we need to be grateful for the things that we have already. We really do. And, God has supplied all of our needs according to his riches and glory. And honestly, we need to be grateful to God for everything that he supplied for us so far. So I wanted to talk to you about 5 things that I'm grateful for. And honestly, the number one and first thing is salvation. Salvation. I'm so grateful to God for salvation, for giving us this gift of salvation, because he didn't have to. And I'm glad that I'm a believer, and I'm happy that I'm a believer. And like, I've gone through a lot in life, and it has always been God who has kept me through. It has always been him who has sustained me. And like, that's something that I'm just so grateful for. I'm grateful for my relationship with God. I'm grateful for the life he has given me. I'm grateful for the roof that he supplied over me, the food that he provides, the grace that he gives us when we fail him every single time, day after day. We just fail him, and that grace, that unconditional love, that never failing love, and that's just something that we can only get from God. Another thing is health. Health has always been something that I kind of like, I'm not really responsible. I'm not a really responsible person when it comes to my health, but definitely for the health so far that I have and my family has, and for the favor and protection that he grants us every single day. So that's my number one thing that I'm grateful for. My second thing that I'm grateful for is my husband, Anthony. We've been together for 8 years, and honestly, it's been the best 8 years of my life. Anthony's loyalty to his family and his love for God has molded me into the wife and mother that I aspire to be. Without him, I wouldn't have Benevolence podcast, honestly. I'd probably still be wondering what to do, with this calling that God has placed over my life. And if it wasn't for Anthony's support and for him pushing me like towards, just pushing me and supporting me, I probably wouldn't have a lot of things, and I probably wouldn't have Benevolence podcast to this day. So, I'm just so grateful for my husband, and the love that he's shown me is truly unconditional, and he's always supported me in everything and anything, and he's a great father, and he's everything I wanted and more. So that's my second thing. My third thing is my daughter Victoria. She is literally my heart outside my body. She's the apple of my eye, the love of my life, and the light of my day. She has truly shown me what love is all about. She gave me the privilege of being her mother, and I strive every day to be the best mother I can be for her. She is sassy. She is, has her mother's attitude, unfortunately. She has her dad's sense of humor, and she has a great mixture of the both of us. And she teaches me every day to be patient. She teaches me every day to just give her time. Like, she teaches me things that, like, she tries me. So that's the thing. She tries me. So it works on my patience. It works on different aspects of my life that I need help in. So if you never need, help in any aspect of your life, have a child. They'll definitely push your buttons and push you and teach you things that you didn't even know about yourself. So The third thing is that I am very grateful for my daughter. Now, the fourth thing that I'm grateful for is my family. My family, believe it or not, no family is perfect. Every family is dysfunctional. Everyone has their drama and all of that, but I can truly say that my family is one of a kind, and I really love all sides. I have all sides. I have a very, very large family with including my husband's family, and they're just so awesome. Like, they're the best thing ever. They're the biggest support group, the biggest prayer of intercessors and things like that. Like, I can't complain. I have a really great family. So that's definitely the fourth thing that I'm grateful for. And then the fifth thing that I'm grateful for is friends. Honestly, without my friends, without my circle, my group of people that are around me who support me, I wouldn't be here today, honestly. And, you know who you are, my girls and, my guy friends who I grew up with, and everyone else who's been part of my life. My friends are a really big deal to me, and I love each and every one of them. So that's the fifth and final thing that I'm grateful for 2018. So there you have it. So with that being said, 2018 has been an amazing year, and it's such a blessing to see our lives evolve and change over time. So here are some things that I want to focus on in this upcoming year of 2019. So a bad habit that I'm going to break is honestly putting myself down as a person. There have been times where I have felt so insecure, and I would put myself down because I felt like I wasn't good, like a good person. I felt like also there were moments where I felt like I was giving and giving and giving and not receiving anything in return. And that's in terms of friendships. I always feel like I'm always overdoing it, but that's just who I am, honestly. And I'm very loyal. I'm very loyal. And if you know me, you know that I'm loyal. I'm a loyal friend, ride or die. And sometimes I feel like I'm always giving in friendships and not reciprocating anything in return. And I felt like also there were moments where a lot of people they don't really like me because of not my demeanor, just kind of I may not seem approachable at first, but that's just because I've been through a lot, and a lot of people may get the wrong idea of who I am. People might think that I'm mean or, I'm not approachable. But that's definitely something that I want to change this upcoming year. I feel like people don't like me. So I put myself down. So that's something that's definitely a bad habit I'm going to break for the year 2019, is putting myself down as a person that I am. I need to love who I am. I need to love the way that God made me, and loving myself and my body, giving myself body positivity and confidence every single day. So that's definitely something that I'm going to work on in 2019. Moving on, a new skill that I'd like to learn, and honestly, I need to learn this skill. I need to learn a new language. And the language that I want to learn is Portuguese. And the reason why is because my school, the demographics of my school are there's a very large mix of minorities, and the common, in the midst of the minority percentage, a lot of it is Spanish, but then there are a lot of Portuguese. It's crazy. It's a lot of Brazilians, and they speak Portuguese, and I hear the language every single day. And honestly, as a teacher, I want to learn because I don't know what they're saying, honestly. So definitely I want to pick up a new skill, just the common words, so I can just pick it up and kind of use it for school and use it for things, in the future. And it's always good to learn a third language, and it's for future jobs and stuff like that. So that's definitely a new skill that I'd like to learn, is the language of Portuguese. Moving on, a person I'd hope to be more like is honestly, Jesus is first. Every day I pray this prayer. I'm like, God, that when my students see me, they see you. When my students hear me, they hear you, and I strive every day to be like Jesus. And that's number one. But honestly, I strive to be like my husband. My husband's very calm. And if you know him, he's coming out of his shell, but he's an introvert. It takes him a while to open up and be who he really is. I'm the one who really sees the rawness of Anthony. And then usually when he's around friends, he's really shy, but then he'll break out when he's really comfortable. But he's a very patient man. He's very gentle. He's very kind. And it's not that I'm not gentle. It's not that I'm not kind. But my personality is very outspoken. And sometimes I may overreact to things, quicker than others. He's slow to speak. I'm slow to anger. He really listens. So that's that's a person that I hope to be more like as my husband. A next thing is a good deed I'm going to do. And honestly, this year I really want to do it because I feel like I haven't served in this aspect or in this area in a long time. And I would like to volunteer for shelters and things, for the homeless, and that's give back to the community. And my church does a lot of stuff. I go to a church named Calvary City Church in Orlando, Florida, and they have a great department that dedicates itself towards those that don't have much, so I definitely would like to volunteer. So a good deed I'm going to do this year is definitely, even if it's just one time, because definitely our schedules are very busy, but I'll tell you that this year I haven't volunteered like that in that aspect, and I would like definitely to volunteer for one of their events or something like that. They recently had an event where they brought in, homeless from the streets, and they did their hair. They had a bunch of barbers, and they gave them food, and they had a message for them, which is very, very awesome. So definitely next time I would like to be part of that. A book I'd like to read. Honestly, this is hilarious, but a book I'd like to read are pretty much all the ones I've purchased already, but never got a chance to read. And it sounds hilarious, but it's true. I am a book hoarder. I love books. I want to read them, but I do not have the time to read them. So, and honestly, that was one of my New Year's resolutions coming into 2018. I wanted to read one book a day. I even rearranged my room so that I can have a chase. I have a chase, which is a lounge chair. I moved it to the room, my bedroom, purposely, so I can lay down in the comfort of my own room and I can read a book. That never happened. I even bought a utility cart and I put a bunch of books in there, putting them in order from the book that I want to read currently to the near future. And I never even looked at it. It's been there for a year and I have not touched a single book. So, I know. That's so bad, but I'm not going to be hard on myself. But a book I'd like to read are literally all the ones that I've already purchased, but never got a chance to read. So there you have it. I'm going to do better at being more inviting when it comes to meeting new people. So that is something that I'm striving to do every day. I want to become more inviting when it comes to meeting new people. I want to start, you're probably thinking, well, if you named your podcast Benevolence and your motto is where kindness matters and all are welcome to the table, I'll be honest to say that as your host, there are times where, I want to be kind, but some circumstances just not prevent me, but I just choose not to be kind sometimes. And that's definitely something that I want to change. I want to be kind. I want to live up to, what I'm pushing out there. There have been times where people haven't been kind to me, and I literally take it to heart. And it's important to be kind to people. It's important to be inviting so that people can come up to you and they can meet you, and get to know more about you. So definitely for 2019, I would like to do better at being more inviting when it comes to meeting new people. That's definitely a struggle of mine, but I definitely want to get out of my comfort zone and meet as many people as I can. So, and the last thing, I'm also striving every day to be better in my relationship with God. And I want to make time for devotionals. I'll tell you that my time with God is not that it's non-existent. It's just very limited. I give him just a small portion of my day, and that is terrible, especially as someone who has served him all my life. I've served God since I was a kid. I was raised in the church and all of that. And he's done so much for me. The least that I can do is give him more of my time. So I want to strive to do better with my relationship with God. I want to give him the time that he deserves. I want to serve more in the church and be more present. So these are things that I'm looking ahead and that I want to work on for the year 2019. So, I believe that every year has a theme. And one year you can focus on your career goals, another year you can focus on yourself physically, etc., etc. But I feel that this year my theme is going to be like my theme for 2019 is to live a life that's present. I want to be more available to people, family, myself, and especially God. It's easy to get distracted with social media and what other people, I said other, sorry. But it's easy to get distracted with social media and what other people are doing. I want to be more readily available to those around me. There's a quote that says, wherever you are, be all there. And that is one of my major goals for 2019. I want to create memories with my family, with my daughter especially. She's almost 4 years old and she loves to spend quality time. And I want to spend time with my husband as well and set up date nights and moments where we can talk and catch up, because I'll be honest to say that having Victoria around, it's hard to have a conversation with my husband because she requires so much attention. So I definitely want to be present with Anthony, and I definitely want to create more beautiful memories with Victoria. So that's definitely something that I want to work on. I want to limit the time in social media. I want to limit the time, and I'm not saying, benevolence. I'm going to keep doing my weekly posts and keeping you guys updated on new seasons and things like that. And I have some special plans I have coming up for 2019. But, I'm saying like in my personal Instagram and Facebook and all of that, like I want to not be on that all the time. I want to take a fast and spend more time with family and just understand that the present time, what you have, the people that you have in front of you, the people that you have around you, it's more important than what's on the phone. So that's definitely something I want to do. I want to spend time with my family. Life is short, and I would hate to live a life with regrets knowing that I didn't get to spend time with with my loved ones. And also, and most importantly, spend time with God. This is a year, this past year was very challenging for me spiritually. And I really felt like I fell off the map, when it comes to my relationship with God. And I'd like to regain that time with Him through devotion and prayer and worship. So I definitely want to label my upcoming year of 2019 to be more present, to be present everywhere I go. And, there's something that I saw, and I think I posted it on Facebook if you follow me there, but there's a video where, like, this guy, he talks about even having your phone out. Like, he talks about you shouldn't have your phone. If you're going out to eat with your friends, like, you shouldn't have your phone on the table. You should put it in your pocket. Like, be more present. Like, if you receive a text or something and you're talking and having a serious conversation with someone, like, don't look down at the phone. Just be present. You don't know what that person may feel like, and already having the phone out and already keeping it on and always looking at it definitely makes the other person feel some type of way. And there's been moments where I felt some type of way, when others have their phones on them or they're looking. I definitely am a person that when I'm spoken to or when I'm being spoken to, I try to give you my 100% attention. I even try to look into your eyes as you talk. And I always feel like and I know I bother Anthony a lot. I'm always like, look at me when I'm talking to you. And that's just who I am. But definitely a pet peeve when others aren't really listening, So definitely something that I want to work on for 2019. And that's what I just want to do. Just focus on spending time with my family, my friends, and especially God. So I highly encourage everyone to set up at least one intentional goal for yourself in the new year and stick to it. Sometimes we come up with all of these goals and we have a long list, and in the end, we feel so defeated because you didn't accomplish even half of them. So stick to short-term goals, and I promise you that you will achieve them. Guys, this year has been amazing. Benevolence Podcast has grown so much, and it's because of all of you. And I wouldn't be doing this without your prayers or your support. I have super big plans for Benevolence in 2019. So continue praying and supporting because big things are coming. Now, I wanted to announce that due to the holiday season, the last 2 episodes of season 2 may not be released on Monday as scheduled, but we still have 2 new and exciting episodes coming your way, so make sure to stay tuned on the release date. And thank you all for tuning into Benevolence, where kindness matters and all are welcome to the table. Did you know that Benevolence has its own Instagram? All you have to do is search Benevolence Podcast. Or you can also follow me at I am Ceci Diaz to know a little bit more about me and Benevolence. If there's a topic that you would like for me to discuss in the future, please do not hesitate to email me at benevolencepodcast@gmail.com with requests, petitions, questions, comments, or testimonials. I want to hear from you. For all of my listeners, I love each and every one of you. Have a great Christmas holiday, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. I'm not going anywhere. We still have 2 new exciting episodes coming up in the next few weeks. But I just wanted to wish everybody a great, great holiday season with you and your family. So I love you all, and stay tuned for next Monday's episode of Benevolence. You don't want to miss it. Bye!